Hello, everyone. It's so great to be here on today. My name is Dr. Tabitha Russell, and we are going to be talking about the Proverbs 31 woman. You know how this works. The purpose of the Proverbs 31 woman weekly sessions is that we're here to equip, strengthen, and empower women to live with wisdom, courage, discipline, faith, and intentionality. These sessions are designed to help us to understand that the Proverbs 31 woman is not an impossible standard of perfection, but she is biblical, and she is the biblical model of purpose, stewardship, leadership, maturity, and wise decision making. I know for many people that there are so many opportunities out there for us to live our best lives, right? Like these sessions really allow us to be able to see each and every week how to deepen our relationship, first of all, with God, but then also in our homes as well as in the marketplace. And we also get the opportunity to strengthen our identity as women of purpose, develop wisdom for life, family, leadership, business, as well as ministry. Then we also get the opportunity to recognize the value of our gifts, experiences, and opportunities, build lives and legacies that positively affect future generations, and move from simply knowing what is possible to intentionally pursuing what God has placed before us, right? The Proverbs 31 woman is prayerful, but she is also practical. She has faith. She also takes where you have the opportunity to take action, right? We find that the Proverbs 31 woman serves others. She does not neglect the gifts and the assignments that God has entrusted unto her, right? These weekly sessions remind us that we're not powerless observers of life, but we are women who can pray, prepare, plan, build, lead, create, invest, influence, and make those wise decisions, right? So, thank you all for being here as we talk about the Proverbs 31 woman, because I know that this is a topic that a lot of us can really lean into and get some goodness out of, right? So there are moments in life when opportunity does not arrive with a loud announcement. And it does not always come with flashing lights or perfect timing, complete instructions, or a guarantee that everything will work exactly as planned. Sometimes those opportunities look like a conversation, right? Other times it's going to look like a new idea. And then there are those times where it looks like a problem that needs to be solved or an invitation that stretches you beyond your comfort zone. And opportunity also could look like a field that other people have overlooked. And sometimes opportunity appears while you're still healing, while you're learning, rebuilding, or trying to determine what your next step is. The question is not whether opportunity exists. The question is, will you recognize the opportunity when it appears? You will find that you have the wisdom to evaluate the situation. Also, you have the courage to pursue it and the discipline to develop it. Will you have the faith to believe that God can use what is currently in your hands, right, to produce something greater? The Proverbs 31 woman, first of all, when we look at her and we evaluate her lives, we have the ability to be able to see that she understood what I call the opportunity code, right? She did not move impulsively. She did not move, but she did move intentionally, right? I am really so excited here this morning because we find that when we start talking about the Proverbs 31 woman, there's a lot of meat there, right? There's a lot of things that we can simply evaluate when it comes to looking at our opportunities. We find that the Proverbs 31 woman did not chase every possibility, but she carefully considered the opportunity placed before her, right? And I will say that if you are in a position of a Proverbs 31 woman, definitely be sure that you are tuned in, right? Get ready to take some notes here on today because the Bible says that the Proverbs 31 woman considered a field and she bought it, right? That means that she observed it first of all. She evaluated the situation. She thought about its potential. She also examined what it would require in order for her to be able to buy that field. She calculated what it would produce. Now, I'm going to say, as you are moving forward, as you're doing some amazing things, as you're looking at all of the ways and possibilities that you have that's before you, what are you doing to make sure that you're making wise decisions, right? Because ultimately, the decision to buy a field was one of careful consideration, but then also she put some money behind it, right? She put her money where her thoughts was. And so the Proverbs 31 woman did not merely admire the field, she acquired the field and developed it. And that is what I consider to be the opportunity code. It is the wisdom to recognize potential, the discernment to evaluate possibilities, and the courage to take action when the right opportunity is presented. So, we're going to talk about 10 different ways that you have before you when it comes to the opportunity code, right? Number one is the opportunity code begins with awareness. So before you act on an opportunity, you must first be able to recognize it, right? What is it that is before you that is going to allow you to be able to take some action, right? Many people pray for opportunity, but are not paying attention when opportunity arrives. They're looking for something dramatic while God may be presenting something that's just simply practical, right? They're looking for a platform while God is giving them a person to serve. They're looking for financial breakthrough while God is giving you an idea to develop, right? I will tell you that if you've been sitting on that idea, you've been just waiting, you've been looking at something that God may have given you just a little glimmer of an idea, and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm just going to wait until the timing is right, until the money gets better, life be life, and all those things. I want you to now think about how it is that you can do something different, right? Because when we are out there and we are looking at all the ways of things that we can do, sometimes that procrastination sets in, and with that procrastination sometimes we just don't take action, right? Many people are looking for a platform while God is giving you that person to serve. Who is it that God is telling you to now go and serve and bless and be there with them or do something special, right? I have seen where people are looking for a financial breakthrough while God has given them an idea to develop. Also, people are looking for large audiences these days, right? While God has given them a small group to lead faithfully. Whatever it is, according to the word, that you find your hands to do it with all diligence, right? Do it with greatness of heart, a cheerful heart, I will say as well. Thank you so much for being here on today. If this message is resonating with you, go ahead and share it with somebody, right? Go ahead and put it out there that we are live talking about the Proverbs 31 women on today. Now, many people are looking for a complete business while God is giving you one product, He's giving you one service, He's giving you one skill or one relationship to steward, right? I will say that for many people, you will find that opportunity often begins as a seed, right? That little thing that could turn into something big and something massive, right? However, we need to make sure that whatever that thing is, that you are tending to it, right? When you plant a seed in the ground, you are watering it, you are making sure that it gets the proper amount of sunlight. Well, it's the same thing with business. When God gives you clients, you want to make sure that those clients are happy, you want to make sure that those clients are fulfilled. Well, what happens with leadership? You want to make sure that the people that you are over, you steward them properly, right? Treat them with goodness, treat them with kindness. it may not always look impressive in its earliest stages, right? It may require more time of you, some patience, some self development on your part, and consistent efforts before its full potential becomes visible. So, whatever that may look like in your life, make sure that you are taking care of that so that way you have the opportunity, right, to be able to help somebody along the way. We find that the Proverbs 31 woman considered what was not yet a vineyard, right? She just bought a field, and that field has endless possibilities. What do you want to plant in your field on today is what I'm asking you, right? She had to see beyond the field currently what it was and recognize what it could become. And for you today, I'm saying that you have endless possibilities on what it is that you can do, right? What do you want to plant in this season? What do you want to develop? What do you want to grow? And whatever that is, be sure that you're leaning into that with all diligence, right? And so, this is one of the greatest abilities a woman can develop, the ability to see potential before everyone else sees the proof of it, right? You must learn to look at your experiences, your relationships, your ideas, your gifts, and your resources with fresh eyes, right? There may be a hidden opportunity inside something you have already overcome, something that maybe you're going through right now. There could be some goodness in there that you can help somebody else to overcome, right? There may be a business hidden inside a problem that you learned how to solve. I know for many people, it could be as simple as baking a cake. It could be a perfecting a new recipe. It could be something around whatever it is that you're working on, right? Thank you so much for being here on today. I am so super excited to talk about the Proverbs 31 woman as I do every single week. And there could also maybe a book hidden inside your testimony, right? What are you able to testify to that you've overcome, right? For many people, that could be the gift of all times, right? Thank you so much for the love on this morning and all of you that are joining in. This is just really such a good topic that we're talking about the opportunity code, right? There could be ministry hidden inside your compassion, the way that you have the opportunity to really love on others and really help them in such a way that they go through that thing and continue to not just keep going around the mountain, right? So there may be a new stream of income hidden inside a skill that you have treated as ordinary, right? I find people that are great at gardening, right? That's not my thing. However, for those that can do it with grace, right? But then also be open to show and help somebody else, because I'm sure that somebody else wants to learn how to garden as well. There could be a divine connection hidden inside a simple conversation. So don't underestimate what God has already placed around you. The opportunity code teaches us to become spiritually sensitive, right? Mentally alert and practically observant. Opportunity is not always found by searching for something new. Sometimes opportunity is discovered by seeing something familiar from a new perspective. Now, I did say to prepare to take some notes on today, right? Number two is the for the opportunity code, it requires careful consideration. The scripture says in Proverbs chapter 31 that she considered a field, right? It did not say that she rushed into the field, right? But she considered it, right? She purchased the first field she saw. It did not say that she did that, right? But it said that she carefully considered it. It does not also say that she made an emotional decision because she was afraid of missing out. We know FOMO is real, right? Fear of missing out. She considered it. Consideration is the process of slowing down long enough to determine whether an opportunity is truly aligned with your purpose, with your values, your capacity, your resources, and your current season. Every door may not be your door. And be okay with that, if I can be so bold to say so, because I will say that sometimes we force ourselves into an opportunity that's not really so much ours, right? So let us make sure that we understand what's before us, right? Because every opportunity is not your assignment, every partnership is not aligned with your future, and every profitable idea is not necessarily the idea that you should pursue. So we find here that the Proverbs 31 woman teaches us that wisdom must come before movement, right? Before saying yes, consider the cost and consider the commitment, the timing, the people involved, what the opportunity will require from you. And I know that this is a little bit of a hard conversation on today, but when we talk about the opportunity code, some of us can miss what's really literally right there in front of us and overlook it because it's small, because it may not fit the thing that we're looking at. I will say that we want to make sure that when we are considering the things that's before us, make sure that it's in alignment with what it is that you do, right? Consider what must be developed, delegated, delayed, or eliminated for you to move forward successfully when you're trying to make those decisions, right? The opportunity code is not about saying yes to everything. It's about having the discernment to say yes to the right thing, right? And that will require you sometimes to slow down long enough in order for you to be able to speed up later on. Now, number three of the opportunity code is going to require some courage, right? After the Proverbs 31 woman considered the field, she bought it, right? So she ultimately made a decision. And at some point, consideration must become action, right? There are women who have spent years considering the field. You've been sitting there with it. You started the book. You put it down. You put it on the shelf. You put it in the cabinet. You put it in the drawer, and now you've since overlooked it, right? Because it didn't seem right. It didn't look right. It doesn't sound like everybody else. Can I just say, be okay with being who you're called to be? Write the book that you're called to write, because I'm sure that there's somebody out here in this big worldwide web of ours, right? In this big worldwide world that we live in, that somebody needs what it is that you have to offer, right? So I will say, be sure that you are considering what it is that you're going to do next, right? But then also go back and dust off some of that stuff that you put to the side because it didn't seem important right then, right? We find here that the Proverbs 31 woman, she made the decision to go ahead and move forward, right? She studied it, she prayed about it, she talked about it, she dreamed about it, she written about it in journals, she attended conferences concerning it, but they have not taken the necessary steps to process it, right? Wisdom requires consideration, but faith requires movement. There comes a moment when you must stop asking whether you are capable and begin trusting that God will develop you as you continue to move forward. You may not have all the answers right now. You may not feel completely ready. You may not have every resource that you need, and you may not know exactly how the entire journey will unfold, right? When you're considering these opportunities and you're starting to move forward, but when an opportunity has been prayerfully evaluated, clearly aligned, and wisely considered, fear should not be allowed when it comes to make the final decision, right? Because fear will tell you you need more time, that someone else is more qualified, that you missed your moment. Fear will also remind you of past disappointments, right? Fear will magnify every possible risk while minimizing every possible reward. And I know that that sounds real tough, but do you know how many people have areas of fear and how sometimes they are challenged with just the simplest of things. And that may not be you. However, somebody else may be dealing with that, but you may be the answer that they need in this moment, right? And if you have the answer, I'm going to tell you to continue to keep moving forward, right? Continue to keep pressing on. I also will tell you that courage says that I considered the field and now I'm prepared to move forward to go ahead and buy it, right? If that is you, go ahead and make the move, right? Courage does not mean that you don't have any questions. It doesn't mean that your questions no longer have the opportunity to paralyze you, because it can, right? As you're consider continuing to move forward, there's going to be some things, right? But the opportunity code requires that you are willing to move beyond the hesitation. Now, you don't need permission from people who cannot see what God has showed you. You do not have to wait until everyone understands your vision. And I know for some of you that just may click in and hop right back out, yeah, I'm going to need you to slow down long enough to make sure that you are getting in position to be able to help somebody else. You do not have to shrink your assignment to make others feel comfortable. And you must be willing to take the next wise step, right? Send the proposal, make the telephone call, register the business. Go ahead, that's right. Write the book, right? Develop the curriculum, schedule the meeting, apply for that job opportunity that you may not feel like you're qualified for. That's right. Go ahead and launch the program, attend the conference, right? Introduce yourself, ask some questions, submit your name, negotiate the agreement, purchase the field. Your next level may be connected to one courageous decision. And I will say thank you all so much for joining in on the Proverbs 31 Woman. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Continue to join in again on next week, and we'll be so glad to share more about the Proverbs 31 Woman. Thank you and have an amazing day.